You ever watched a boss's arrogance backfire perfectly? When the new business investor joined our company as a manager, I had a bad feeling from the start. You could tell right away he was the kind of guy who thought efficiency meant barking orders louder. He came in talking about streamlining operations and cutting waste, but what that really meant was making everyone miserable. He spent his first week just walking around with a notepad, quietly judging everything and everyone. Then he called for an all-hands meeting to iron out the wrinkles. That was the phrase he used, as if we were just a crumpled shirt he was about to flatten. The meeting wasn't a discussion, it was a speech. 20 minutes straight of him telling us how things were going to be from now on. No feedback, no questions, no chance to speak up. Just a list of new rules, tighter deadlines, and less tolerance for what he called unnecessary conversation. And then came the line that set the tone for everything. If we want your input, we'll ask for it. Period. That was directed at me. I knew it, and so did everyone else. Before he came along, I was the person management actually listened to. I was the bridge between departments, so I heard what people were saying, especially those who were quitting. Turnover had become a real issue, and since I handled a lot of communication internally, I understood exactly why. I'd told the management team that people weren't leaving because of pay or hours. They were leaving because the job wasn't what they signed up for. They were hired for customer service roles, handling calls, emails, assisting clients, but ended up spending almost all their time in the warehouse packing boxes. It wasn't a complaint. I was just relaying what I heard, but apparently that offended the new manager. After the meeting, he called me into his office and said they'd interpreted my comments as me implying that they were misleading new hires during recruitment. I explained that wasn't my intention at all. I was just passing along feedback. Didn't matter. He leaned back, folded his arms, and said it again. If we want your input, we'll ask for it. Period. At that point, I decided to take him literally. No more suggestions, no more opinions, no more updates about what people were saying or feeling. I just did my job quietly, smiled when spoken to, and left the rest alone. Within a month, 2 more employees quit, both saying the exact same thing. This isn't what I signed up for. Then came the third new hire. He tried to push through, but it was obvious the work was wearing him down. Every day he'd mumble under his breath about how this wasn't the role he applied for, about how hot it was in the warehouse, about how tired he was of doing the same repetitive tasks. Everyone could see he was getting close to his breaking point. Then one afternoon, something snapped. I was upstairs working when I heard a commotion. I went down to see what was going on, and there was chaos in the warehouse. Packages were scattered across the floor, boxes crushed, and products damaged. He'd completely lost control of his temper, and the others just stood there, unsure what to do. The new manager rushed in, his face pale as he tried to get the situation under control. The employee was immediately dismissed and escorted out. Once things calmed down, the manager called me into his office again. He asked, "Do you know why he did that?" I said, "Not exactly, but I know he's been upset for weeks about doing warehouse work instead of customer service. Maybe he just hit a wall." He frowned. "Why didn't you tell us?" I couldn't help but smile. "Because last time I mentioned that employees were unhappy about that exact thing, you accused me of spreading gossip and told me not to give unsolicited input." He didn't know what to say. He just sat there, silent. For once, he had no comeback. Later, I found out the company lost around $10,000 in damaged goods that had to be replaced. Some of the items were high-end electronics worth $2,000 each. I was the one who had to adjust the stock records and process the replacements, which meant I saw exactly how much that outburst cost them. And honestly, watching the new manager deal with the consequences of his own arrogance was satisfying. He wanted silence and obedience, and that's exactly what he got, along with a very expensive reminder that shutting people up doesn't make problems disappear.